Hey you guys, Dragon Empress here, and we're back on my MHA ships. So this time we're going to talk about a ship that's semi-controversial, and this ship is called Bakutoga. It's been one of my favorites for a very long time, ever since I entered the MHA fandom. I was like, oh, I love this ship so much. I know it breaks one of my shipping rules, like no toxicity, but also it's somewhat not toxic in a way because Bakugo could still tolerate Toga, and he has a lust for blood and violence, especially violence, and I think Toga would like that kind of boy, and he purposefully gets himself beat up compared to Deku. I think that dynamic, that villain ex-hero dynamic, is very fascinating, and I'll get to that more with one of my other ships. Overall, the ship is pretty cool. Bakugo could learn from Toga that he doesn't always have to be so angry, because Toga is a very, very happy, optimistic person despite the stabby stab. And Toga could learn from Bakugo how to be her own hero in a way, because usually heroes have certain standards like don't kill your enemies, don't suck blood. And I think that Bakugo always yells in the anime die, or yells in the manga die a bunch to his enemies and threatens to kill them, and Himiko also threatens to kill many people, as well as threatening to kill anyone she loves or suck their blood and become them, because with her quirk she could turn into anyone she sucks the blood from. In a way, these two are like a violent match made in heaven, but at the same time I try to develop them in a way and make them learn from each other's mistakes and actually get therapy. Like in my whole entire story, tarot cards, throughout that story, Bakugo goes to this fortune teller and he's annoyed with her at first, but slowly befriends her over time until it's too late and he accidentally kills her with his quirk. And Himiko reassures and comforts him during my other short story, the Good Toga Scenarios. And yes, Toga can be twisted into a good guy. She's 17, so that can happen. Kids are easily influenced by the adults around them. And she was pretty much surrounded by villainous adults in the League of Villains. But if she joins the good guys and Izawa actually teaches her stuff, then maybe, just maybe, she could be redeemed. And she's more likely to be redeemed since, again, she's a child. Along with Bakugo being able to be redeemed since he's a child also. And the reason why I don't forgive Canon Bakugo is because they made him irredeemable. I mean, another reason why I like Bakutoga is because it's not canon, so you could write whatever her relationship you want with that. You could write them both as villains, both as heroes, one being a hero and the other being a villain. There's so many creative possibilities for the ship, which is why I love it so much. And before you say they're siblings, no they're not. Horikoshi confirmed that they are not freaking siblings. If you gotcha fans come in my comments one more time saying they're brother and sister, I will murder you in your own house. Okay, I think that's a bit overboard, but whatever. I'm standing by my opinion that this is the best ship for Bakugo and Toga, especially Toga, since she's usually shipped with the League of Villains, who are a bunch of freaking adults. So I'm like, okay, that's scary. And also, you know what's even more toxic than Bakutoga? Bakudeku and Toga x Deku, Toga Deku. Toga will be a monster on Deku in comparison to Bakugo, because even though I made Bakugo somewhat scared in my story, he still blew Toga up and such. But Deku, I don't think he would stand up to Toga unless he's the overpowered OP he is today, but even so, their personalities really don't go together. I prefer Deku Chaco compared to Deku Toga. It's just, it makes more sense than that. But anyways, I also love the fact Bakugo could at least be himself around Toga. Because around other people, they just tolerate him or they don't like him. I can see Toga actually liking this guy, and I know She was like only on screen with him once or twice, once standing over him and twice trying to stab him. But that dynamic could actually go very well and maybe forward the story a little bit and actually redeem one of the villains. Not only that, but I have a hate boner for Bakugo. If you haven't seen my Bakugo video, watch it. I highly recommend it. I think this ship would fulfill it very much, since he would pretty much get tortured by Toga before the love actually happens, before she actually regrets doing it, because she does regret doing it in my story, but nonetheless, it's a treat for me since he gets a Fatalis lesson in the harshest way possible. And that's another thing, if a ship meets your needs, like, if you want Deku to be harsh to Bakugo, go ahead, I don't care, because I really don't like this character. I really don't. Even though I ship Bakutola dearly, and I made them learn from each other's mistakes, I still don't like this character. And in the future, my same future AU for Nasha and Kami, I made Bakugo and Toga have two twins, but they're much older than the baby boys. And their names are Shimichi and Ichiko. And they're both very beautiful, adorable girls that fall in love with Izuku's son, Charlie. So yeah, it's pretty much all sorts of adorable there. And Bakugo with a beard, it's so freaking fluffy! I also made an AU where Bakugo is a werewolf and Himiko is a vampire. You could check out this AU on my other friend's channel, Mackenzie. She also makes great stuff too. I just wish she posted more, but nonetheless, I love this ship and I give it an 8 out of 10 only because of the teeny bit of toxicity in it, but in a way, I don't care since I really don't like Bakugo. Now we move on to a rare villain X-hero ship, which is Twice X Burnin. I rarely see anyone ship these two, mostly because they're not on screen together. But again, the fascination with these kind of couples is that you can imagine whatever scenario you want with them. And even so, they have very wild, eccentric, and loud personalities. Burnin with her short quirks of yelling at people and stuff, and suddenly being excited or happy, then going from excited to angry in seconds, like in the Mr. Smiley short. And also Twice with his sporadic back and forth with himself and his constant bipolar disorder. The two are both very immature in a way, almost like children in adults' bodies. It's a very charming thing to think about them at least redeeming themselves, especially Twice redeeming himself and becoming a hero along with her, because Twice, in all honesty, doesn't really feel like a villain, especially with his sad backstory. He really feels more like a hero trapped as a villain just because society couldn't accept who he was, and he couldn't even accept himself since he kept arguing with himself. I think Burnin would help him very much with that. Even though she has a bit of a temper, she could be overprotective of him, like this comic I made. Hair, or Burnin getting angry at Twice once in a while for doing something stupid. Or the fact that he could clone himself, he could like sing her a duet. It would be so adorable to at least see this in the anime. Now we move on to another villain X-hero couple, Overhaul X Midnight. And this ship name has such a good ring to it, Overnight. I just love it so much. But nevertheless, if you want to know more about that ship, check out my video drawing Mirai's parents. It explains why I ship them. Yo X Yuga, or another rare ship that goes very well together, Yoga, is pretty much a ship I developed after the Deku cheese scene.
I'm starving! Please have some fromage. Oyama was force-feeding me cheese, and little did I know, even stranger things were in my future. Where did you even come from?
Since Yoshindo looks a lot like Deku, I figured he'd be the version of Deku who likes cheese and also likes all the attention Yugo Oyama gives to him. I also thought of Yo being the masculine boy in the relationship and Yuka being the feminine boy in the relationship, as well as both of them hiding secrets with smiles, since Yo usually hides his real personality by smiling and acting like everyone's a team and all that, when deep down he just wants to beat Class 1A. And Yuga hides the fact that he's a UA traitor by depicting himself as this feminine sparkling hero, but after he reveals himself he feels pretty bad, as well as Yo genuinely wanting to help people. I think they would go very well together, and despite me not liking Yuka Oyama being the UA traitor, it would be way more interesting if Yo like took away Yuka Oyama from the cops and they had to like run away from them as a subplot meanwhile. That would be very fascinating to at least read, because we haven't gotten anything like that in the manga. Right once Deku ran away, he came right back a few chapters later, so he's definitely not a vigilante anymore. I also imagine they would both hide it like weirdos, like constantly flirt with each other secretly, or if not, they would constantly stare at each other for a long time and the students around them would act like it's really awkward. And it would make for the funniest dynamic ever, kind of like Twice in Burden. I just really wish these two met, since only half of Class 1A met Yoshindo and his classmates, and Miss Joke. Speaking of Miss Joke, I'm gonna touch upon Joke X Smiley in the next video, because this video's been long enough. It's like been 13 minutes. I'm breaking the fourth wall, I'm sorry. To be continued, since this video's gone on way longer than I anticipated. That, and I got millions more couples to ship. So we've got ourselves a very long saga here. With that being said, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Links to my profiles are in the description below, and have a good day. Bye bye.